I'm muted. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you? Is this your usual office?
This is my
Do you work from home most of the time?
yeah, literally like 99% of the time.
Here he is. What what was I going to say? What is it you actually do now?
So I do like project management, but the projects that I do are big bids for work or like bids for major contracts.
Yeah.
So like
Is that like you're hired in to do a project and then you might work for another business and do another project, or is it all the same one?
yeah, so I don't work sort of freelance or anything. I work for Siemens.
Right, okay.
And we do like everything, but like the part of Siemens I work for, we build and sell trains basically.
Right, okay.
So it's a bit random, but like like because when I was in the Navy, I was an aircraft engineer, and
Right.
so I went into civil aviation when I left the Navy, and then into engineering in the rail industry, and then
Yeah.
ended up in sales basically, which is like so we respond to like requests from the government for like major procurement of like like the HS2 train and that
Yes,
sort of stuff.
of course.
So they'll put it out there to the public procurement exercise, and they'll say, right, companies are invited to tender
Yeah.
for this project, and that's the sort of thing
Yeah.
I do.
Right, okay. It's interesting.
It's
It's
not interesting.
uh, how long have you been out of the forces now?
Mate, like ages. I had my 10-year anniversary with
Oh
Siemens
wow.
last
Okay.
month, which is
Right.
crazy. Uh, yeah, I left the Navy when I was 29,
Right, okay.
40 now.
Older and wiser, Mark.
That's it, mate. Yeah. That's it.
Do you mind if I record this?
No, of course not. It's
Is
a
that
bit
right?
laggy though. I don't know if that's me.
Is it me? Yeah, you're all good on my side, so maybe it's
Just
my awful internet, but
I'll close Pornhub. Hang on.
I'll hit record now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I just wanted to kind of have a chat really because you've been with us for 4 years, which is it's a pretty long time.
hmm
Uh, so I just want to kind of see what like inspiring bits we can kind of pull out of that will resonate with the rest of the community really.
Yeah,
um
cool. Okay, yeah.
so there wasn't like there's nothing that you needed to prepare or anything like that for it. It was just kind of like let's just have a chat and see where it goes a little bit. So
Yeah,
um
sounds.
I guess it makes sense to go back to the kind of start or the before JST. Can you remember what training looked like before you did join JST?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like obviously different routes into discovering CrossFit in the first place, isn't it? And
Yeah.
for me, like I'd had it on the periphery for years and years and years, never really knew what it was, what it was all about. And I just kind of was playing rugby and sticking to my like 3 chest days a week, like maybe some squats once a month. Basic like yeah,
I know the
millennial
crack. Yeah.
training regime. And
Millennial rugby-led training regime. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, the maxi muscle days. Um, yeah, and I had a bicep rupture playing rugby like about literally a month before lockdown.
Okay.
So just into lockdown, I went for an operation and had that all reattached and everything else. And I was like, maybe this is my sign to start packing rugby. Got really into running during the whole lockdown thing, and I was like Operation 5K.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I sent you that message, like on your 5K time, like, mate, that is sick. Like, it's such a good time. Mine has just gone as like I
You're a much
yeah.
bigger boy than I am these days, though, mate. Trust me.
Well, I mean, like my lockdown weight, I lost 10 kilos and was literally like, I mean, 10 kilos was I was down to 90, and
Okay.
then it's mad, isn't it? Like different people's weights, and you
Yeah.
see with CrossFit, like 90 kilos, I look like a stick. And
That's
you speak to some of the
that's what
young
I am
lads, and they're
right
like,
now.
"I'll do anything."
Must
Yeah,
be 90 kilos. Yeah.
really, yeah. And like some of these young lads are like, I'll do anything to get up to 90 kilos. It's like, well, once you get there, you'll never go under. Um,
So yeah, you ruptured your bicep, just became a runner for a bit.
mhm, for a bit, yeah. And then it was actually I was on sort of the home workout apps as well, and it was that Fit app, and that Gus from Wit was
Oh, okay.
one of the instructors on it,
Yeah.
and they used to like it was all in your living room, and it was like EMOMs and AMRAPs, and I was like, what the hell is all this stuff? Like I'd never heard of all this, and I was like, okay, this is a good way of doing it. I like this. And then I followed that Gus on Instagram
Yeah.
and saw that he went to all the CrossFit stuff, and I was like, that looks sick. I want to give that a go. So I signed up at a local, like once lockdown had lifted, got straight in to some classes, uh, and I'll tell you what happened. So as soon as I started, there was a bit of a buzz because it was the first year of the Arnold's,
Okay.
and I was kind of caught up in that conversation. I was like, oh, like what is you do competitions of this stuff? And I just sort of like, yeah, so I'll get involved with this and sign up. And I was 30, just turned 36 at the time. All I'd been doing is classes. Didn't have a muscle up, well, bar muscle up. Didn't have ring muscle ups. Uh, you can like, I've got video evidence of like my mobility being horrific, not being able to, I couldn't get anywhere near parallel on an overhead squat.
Yeah.
It was painful, and I was like, yeah, like this sounds great. Like sign me up. So I jumped in to the qualifiers, and because it was the first year, sign ups in the masters were quite slim.
Okay.
So I got in to the RX category and just got totally taken in by the buzz of it, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, absolutely love this. Like all the camaraderie. Like this is the like competitive thing that I've been looking for.
Yeah.
One of the workouts had a 9 ring muscle up buy-in, and I mean, it makes me cringe to think now, but actually it was cool. I ended up taking the whole 15-minute time cap to get my first ring muscle up. And everyone's like, yeah, I'm getting all like, everyone has gathered around me, like sort of giving me that CrossFit, like, come on, let's do it. And I did it, and I was just like, this is sick. I was like, right, I want to come back next year and I want to smash this.
Mhm.
So then I started looking into training, and I was like, right, I feel like, if I want to actually target competitions, I need to train for that. And what is out there that is going to help me,
To
like
with
help
that.
me kind of structure it. And, searched about, saw Mayhem, obviously, was pretty big. And then you guys, so JST were kind of like high on the radar. And I think I reached out to a couple of people that I'd met at the competition that I'd heard were doing it, had nothing but positive things to say. So I was like, great. I was like, I'll do that. Like, no, that didn't really didn't like. I looked into you guys, and I was like, yeah, this looks wicked. Like exactly what I'm after. Like
Yeah.
completely ticks all the boxes. So didn't have to deliberate too much and just jump straight
Just did
in.
it.
And yeah,
Did we meet that first year that you actually went, or was it the second year that you went? Because that, like, you talking through this, I'm having like flashbacks of seeing you, like, trying to. I can't remember if it was like doing or trying to do overhead squats. I can't. It must have been that first or second year that I feel like we actually probably met. Of
yeah,
you going to, yeah, I just like with leggings on, with your lifters on, like that whole kind of vibe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope you weren't involved in reviewing the qualifying videos for that competition, because my overhead squats were in that, and that's where the video came from.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Um, and as soon as I went anywhere near parallel, I just bailed the bar. I was
Yeah.
like, "This is," and that was like 70 kilos. Like, it was ridiculous.
Um. So going back to like that first year after you kind of joined us, what was the biggest change that you noticed?
So I think like the improvement curve at that point was like really, really steep. uh, I noticed, I suppose straight away, I'm like, oh, great, you've just got this clear progressive structure.
Yeah.
Back then, as well as you do now, you were like showing the block and the intention behind it and the rationale behind it. And like, I'm geeky and analytical, and I like, I see that, and I'm like, there's
Mm.
real, there's real thought and process put into this. I was like, and yeah, like mobility improved massively within the first 6 months,
Right. Okay.
following all the sort of movement mechanics stuff.
Mhm.
I focused on that quite a lot, and just general capacity and strength went up massively. I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, I think I hit. I don't know. I was snatching sort of at 85
Yeah.
fairly comfortably, and it was. I mean, that was. As I say, I couldn't even overhead squat 70 at the beginning, and I was just
Yeah.
like, and again, like, it was really encouraging, because like, looking across the board, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm improving so much. Um, Started, got to the 6 month point, started thinking I was God's gift to masters CrossFit, and you know what I
Full
mean. I
level
was like,
gain.
yeah, yeah, you'll see me at the games this year, Jack. Like,
Love it. Cool.
look,
But
weight as well. Like like from a physical point of view, like, we all care what we look like in the mirror as well. And my running shape just immediately started to spring back to like peak rugby shape,
yeah,
and I was like, oh, this is sick. I was like, I'm not even,
yeah,
not even paying attention to that, and I'm like, the
it
weight's
comes
coming
with
back
it, doesn't
on.
it?
Right?
Yeah. Um, is there again coming back to like that like first year or so?
Hmm.
Is there a moment in your mind where you feel like I've had like a big breakthrough here? Like when you're talking about the snatch, like I don't know whether it was that 85 kilo snatch or whether it's first time you I don't know, clean and jerks 120 or whatever it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
was there kind of a moment or a training block or a time when you were like, okay, this is really working?
Um, I mean, to be honest, the progression, although I say it was really steep, it was it was consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, that has been my experience of my progression with JST for the last 4 years. Like, it's been just solid, consistent progression. And like, I haven't had any major groundbreaking improvements in short periods.
Hmm.
Uh, in that sense, like I say, like, it was really steep at first, and then it's sort of evened out. But it's always been on a, and I'm getting older as well, but it's still on an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
I'm still, like, I'm still there. Yeah,
The
I'm
games is still on.
well, I don't, if I've got the mental robustness for it. I don't know, but you guys can't help with that.
We do our best. We do our
No,
best,
you do.
mate.
You do
I feel
actually.
like we've had a few conversations over the years, and from the first time I, I feel like for the first time we properly met and I saw you compete, you were like a rabbit in the headlights.
Hmm.
Um, you're much. that is much, much less now. I'm not saying that it's totally gone away, but you're much calmer now than, probably those 3 years ago when we first met. I think it probably was Arnold's, to be fair.
Maybe, yeah, maybe the second year.
Yeah. So yeah, and like you say, coming back to that time, it was like, what's your plan for this, Mark? And you're sweating buckets and all this, and you're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna go out, like, smash it. You know what I mean? Just like go out really, really hot, and then just. But it's. I'd say that has been equally like a pretty big improvement, but also like it's been consistent over the years. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? It's like you said, it's not kind of been like, oh, it's got like way, way, way better and then kind of, plateaued. I'd say like every year that I've seen you compete, it's like got better and better and
mhm.
better with that experience. So that's been really nice to see as well.
And calmer as well, like you say. Like I feel like I'm much more composed when I go into these things now, and I'm like, yeah, don't rush. I could take it steady.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Being with us for 4 years, obviously
Hmm.
that's like a pretty, that's quite rare, really. Um, what would you say is like your number one reason that you've stuck with us
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that time?
It's a good question because like there's obviously a tendency and a temptation to program hop, isn't there? Like you think
Yeah,
something's going to give you this magic boost or this like this magic solution that or grass is greener mentality or whatever. And I think naturally you do sort of look to your left and right at what other people are doing and what other people are following and putting out there.
yeah,
Um, for me, it all came back to like the the things that reinforce it are the consistent progression,
yeah,
like has always been there. Like I'm always experiencing this steady rate of improvement across the board, and so to justify kind of considering switching to something else as opposed to staying, it doesn't make sense because for me, I'm like, well, this is doing the job. I'm like it's absolutely ticking the boxes for me still. And then there's the community side of it. That you guys invest so much into the community and bringing everybody together, and you go to the competitions and you've got the JST community and the guys and girls there that you recognise and and you've by that point you've competed together as individuals and on teams together and all that sort of stuff, and then that community is brought together on the on the whiteboard workouts and the leaderboards and stuff like that. And I love looking at that as a not just as a sort of an ego kind of thing to to try and sort of put myself up against the lads that I know are good, but
yeah.
also it's great as a benchmarking tool. I think like this is where you can see where you need to be. You can see where other people are at that have competitive aspirations as well.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
like like and the quality, the programming's quality. So it's they're the three things that kind of just reinforce it. And yeah, for me, it's a no brainer. Like I've yeah.
yeah. I feel, what I'm just interested to know. Uh, that obviously takes quite a lot of discipline and I guess a bit of patience as well, really.
Hmm.
Where does that come from, or have you kind of always had had that? Yeah,
Patience. How do you mean? Like
I feel I feel like in the sense of like the results. It's almost like the results are coming, and you're not like rushing to get to them. Do you know what I mean by that?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Do you, or do you
I,
think do you think it's like because you know the the kind of why behind we're doing stuff that is enough for you to, do you like to kind of accept and be like, right, I know what the crack is here.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. Like, I genuinely, I'm like, you know, if I've ever sort of looked to my left and right about what other programming is out there and what other things there are to offer, it's like, I look at what you guys are putting out and what I've been following. I'm like, realistically, is it going to be any? Is it going to be better? You know, is it going to be any better? Is it going to suddenly like catapult me into the next level? Like, it's not. You know, like, so like, and like, I think there have been things that you've put out in the past about, you know, realistic expectations and,
Yeah.
you know, and getting the fundamentals right. And I mean, inches, isn't it? It's exactly like you say, inches, not miles,
Yeah. Yeah.
because everything happens in small increments.
It
And
does.
yeah,
What does the next, I don't know, year or two look for Mark? Like what your plans to for competing this next year? Have you got your eyes on anything? Yeah, where you kind of at with the competitive scene now?
competitive stuff is it's been a bit of a roller coaster actually the last 12 months, maybe 18 months. A lot of you get a lot of it where you know, you speak to people about their experiences of it, and you know, people, we get so into this, and you know, like the competitive side of it is so good, and the competition, sorry, the support that we get from like JST is so good as well. Like, it really pulls you through the competitions, but still struggle with I still struggle with the pressure that I put on myself, and it's been a real kind of process to just bring myself down to earth and be like, look, you know, you're doing this because you love competition, and you love the feeling of being in a sort of competitive environment and doing well and in those environments, but also it is just fun. It is, you know, it is predominantly to be healthy as well, especially, you know, as I'm getting older, and like, you know, something that's probably unique to the masters athletes is like your expectations of yourself. You know, like, I still look at the 20-year-olds on the leaderboard and expect myself to beat them,
Yeah.
and I still do,
Of
obviously,
course
but
you do. I know you do.
but like, you know, it is about having realistic expectations of myself and my body. You know, like, it
Yeah.
doesn't recover like it did even 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and your enthusiasm can really start to spiral
Yeah.
into doing too much. And
Yeah.
like, I think, you know, and Mitch definitely knows that I'm terrible for that. And I'll just do this bit extra, and I'll just do this bit extra. And, you know, you're there going like, don't do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to do yourself any favors.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to learn these lessons the hard way, don't you? But,
You, you do sometimes. It was really nice actually when I went to I3 Euros earlier in the summer. You obviously kind of, the masters were there and the juniors were there, so it was like different ends of the spectrum. Most of the masters are like, they're pretty chilled, accept very much accepting of, you know, all the niggles and XYZ they've got, and but you know, still bloody love it. And then you've got the, you know, the youths who are like, again, a bit like Mark Franklin, I guess, 4 years ago, like rabbit in the headlights, kind of a
yeah.
bit like all over the place. And it was like quite a nice balance because they obviously brought the experience, like uh, pretty chilled, good, having a good crack, and then you just had like the younger athletes who, you know, kind of really new to it all. So it's like a really nice balance actually for that experience a few months ago. But yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I see that definitely. I mean, the Europeans were a bit of a sort of I don't know. It's like, you know, sort of sometimes these things come to a bit of a head, like the pressure that you're putting on yourself and everything like that. the IF3 Euros were that for me. I went there with an absolute expectation of myself. I knew the people that were in my division, and I believed, and I still believe it, to be fair, that I was better than them. And I was like, so immediately I'm like, I'm expecting a lot of myself here. And and again, even then, I on the build up to it, I fell into the trap of doing too much and letting the pressure build. I was I was training too much, and by the time I got out there, I mean, you saw me, like I had my little girl with me, and she wasn't particularly being thrilled about being dragged halfway across Europe, and the whole thing, like I don't know, yeah, I just crumbled kind of mentally, and I wasn't, like I struggled to integrate with the team kind of vibe, and
what's your biggest lesson off the back of that? Like, what's the main like takeaway for you off the back of
that? Do you know what the biggest lesson I've taken from that is? The pressure that I put on myself. And that, to be fair, that was, I mean, we're not even talking that long ago, are we? But that was probably a big catalyst for me to be like, Franklin, get a grip of yourself. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you putting all this on yourself? Why are you training yourself into a dark hole or whatever? And I, off the back of that, I literally had a couple of weeks off. I came back to training and really intentionally took my foot off the gas. And like when you're going 100 miles an hour and you're doing extra bits and stuff like that, anyway, it's taking your foot off the gas is actually just bringing it down to the level that you should be training at. And I felt so much better for it. And I withdrew from a couple of competitions that I'd had entered. Me and Anka did this local pairs comp and then last weekend, and won that. And I was just like, like it the thing is, when we listen to your advice, it starts to get reinforced. Like the results reinforce it. And again, I don't know, depending on your character, I'm stubborn and I have to learn these lessons myself sometimes. But
you get it comes around sooner or later, from the last, from Mark that started, CrossFit, 5-6 years ago, to Mark now. What's the biggest difference, you think?
I can see my abs again.
Yeah.
That's a good bonus. Biggest difference. I mean, I feel a sense of belonging in the CrossFit space and the CrossFit environment, and there's two layers of it with the masters stuff, because like you said, you have these chilled kind of masters like groups, and you find people that you resonate with, and and then equally I can go to your the JST events, and you're chatting to lads and girls half your age, and you've got different experiences and you've got different kind of interests and stuff like that, but everybody's like-minded, everybody's cool, and it's great. Like, it's been a really, really positive like addition to my life, and good. Love it.
I feel like it's a huge one, that sense of belonging, because for me that's like an underlying, like, deeper reason that maybe you don't think about all the time, but kind of keeps you like keeps you doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. And like you said, like one of the things that has reinforced me sticking it out with JST. I mean, predominantly it's my own progression and how I've come on
yeah,
consistently with JST, but also it is the fact that I know
you know, like,
the majority of the people that follow JST.
yeah,
Like I can go and I hook up with them and go and train with them. They come down and train with me. Like, we reach out to each other to go on teams together when there's events coming up. Like,
good,
it's cool, like
yeah,
it's good.
good. Um, is there anything else about your journey that you think would be powerful for other athletes or maybe masters to hear?
The the masters thing has been kind of, again, you always, once you get over 35, like you hear different experiences from 40-year-olds and from 45-year-olds and so on. And I've definitely, I've noticed a huge difference between my 36-year-old self and my 40-year-old self already.
Yeah,
um, and the the advice around kind of, I don't know, like be having realistic expectations of your body, and um, the sort of the principles of, say, like 10% 10% less intensity, 20% less volume, at this side of 40. And it's easy to do. Well, I say it's easy to do if you're not ego driven and stubborn like me. When to do the 3 rep or the 3 sets instead of the 5 sets on the programming, and then you get to the third set and go, "Oh, well." So my advice is, like, overdoing it doesn't do you any favors. Even though, like, we understand the energy that drives that is all positive and it's all good stuff and it's all,
yeah,
it's all in the right direction. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a case of listen to your body, listen to your coaches, and learn the lessons when they're there for you.
yeah. The that minimum effective dose of, I think for me, with just having a bit less time to train, I always see that now, um, like the minimum like sets in the program is like what I kind of ideally need to hit, and any
Mhm.
more than that is a bonus. So it's taken me what this last year to really kind of get my head around that really.
Yeah,
Um, and it takes time, doesn't it? You like you say, you've got to learn the lessons yourself really, because then they're like more powerful, aren't they? So yeah, yeah.
so, especially if you're prone to struggle not to listening to people.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mark. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
That's all right, mate. Bring on the open, isn't it?
Bring
Feel
on the
like
open. Back to it.
I need to give Hugh a run for his money. He's got it easy going it alone. So
Yeah.
that's my mission for next year.
Give Hugh a good run for his money.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll clip this bit out and send it to him. Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's just turn this off. No, thank you. That was great. I appreciate your time on that one.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm not very good at inspirational speeches, but
Definitely a few lessons in there.
but there's definitely lessons in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's this year's been a fucking roller coaster. It's just literally like it did all come to sort of a bit of a head at the Europeans, and I was just in a shit headspace. Didn't want to
Yeah,
be there. Was beating myself up. Like, just wanted to go home after every, and it was literally like a struggle mentally just to get through every event.
right.
And I was just
Okay.
like, back to the caravan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It was really shit. But no, I did. You do that. You do it to yourself, don't you?
yeah. I know the feeling. You do. You do. It's when you. It's like you say. Like I'm similar to you. I'm pretty stubborn with some things, and I'll try and do everything, and then you're like, fuck, I wish I had just said no to doing, you know, X, Y, Z, or whatever it is. So
Yeah, yeah.
I get it.
It's a nice feeling actually to sort of to kind of like have something that it's a nice feeling to kind of come to the realization of like, oh, fucking right, have a word with yourself. What you're doing, like,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to bring, it's supposed
yeah,
to bring positivity into your life, and
yes,
don't fuck it up for yourself, innit?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're 100% right there, and like we should be enjoying it because if we spend so much time in the gym, like, what are we doing? You know? Do you know what? Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I said to myself, because I'd like had this thing on my shoulder, and then my wrist was just niggle after niggle, and then the head thing, like the mentality side of it as well, and it's just been a
yeah,
constant up and down in that sense.
yeah,
And getting in with the training and just doing what I can do on that week,
yeah,
and just being great and being grateful for it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm
yeah.
not, I genuinely do take the view, like, and I speak to other people that sort of moan about their progress and stuff like that. I'm like, do you realize how lucky we are that our bodies can do
Can do
what
all
we
this
do with them?
cool
Like, it's
shit. Yeah,
wicked.
yeah.
So
It is. It is.
if you've got a niggly shoulder or a niggly wrist or whatever, it's like,
Just,
oh what?
there's still loads you can do. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like you said, that minimum of, like, effective dose for me, and just feeling a bit more grateful for actually being able to, you know, train and do stuff like you say. I've definitely uh, that's definitely been my mindset more this last, well, since having the girls really. So yeah,
It's a
I
tough
get
pill
it.
to swallow, isn't it? Because
It is. It is as well.
I, I, I often kind of compare it to like fitness as a hobby and as your sort of primary interest is a fucker because like if you're doing up an old motorbike in the garage and you leave it for 6 weeks, the work that you've done doesn't start to unbolt itself,
Yeah, yeah, of
doesn't
course.
start to unwind because you leave it alone.
Yeah.
So you can't constantly have this loop of pressure to like not lose the gains that you've made. But
Hmm.
it's not actually that it's not that severe. Like I've come pulled back on my training so much in terms of the intensity and the volume that I'm doing. I feel so much better,
Good.
and I'm
Good.
performing better too. Like
Yeah.
we did that gymnastics workout yesterday, and I had Barrett and Anchor with me,
Yeah.
and I was like, how old's Ryan? 26, I think he is. I was like, I'm fucking beating him. And
Yeah.
like, I did him by about 10 seconds, and I was like, fucking get
Take
in. Yeah.
it. Right, so I'm gonna have to shoot. I've got
Yes.
another
All right, mate.
call to be jumping on, but thank you so much for your time,
Yeah. No dramas, mate. My pleasure.
and I'll see you see you soon.
I'll see you at the next thing. Yeah. Stop putting JST events on my dad weekend, my daddy daughter weekends.
Send that calendar over. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Nice
Catch you
one.
in a
Cheers,
bit.
mate.
Bye.